fill to the brim with extra snack and ingredient that you know will come in handy if something prevents you from getting out for a fresh supply of food. The liver is like that storehouse for your body. It's like a hoard in a good way, and for a few different reasons, one of which is so that it can bring out certain nutrients later for your body to absorb anew. Another is so that it can store troublemaker to save your organs from them and protect your life. You will get to that in chapter 5. Your protective liver. Storing glucose is a critical function of your liver. It's how you stay alive, yet sugar actually keeps you alive. Blood sugar balance. Liver glucose storage is a hard basis of protecting us from conditions such as diabetes. Think about when you are out all day running around, dropping off and picking up kids, attending meetings, getting groceries, and you don't get a chance to eat for 5 or 6 hours. All that time, the blood sugar you got from your last meal is slowly dropping until it's all used up. Your liver, if it's in good condition, will then release store of glucose to save your behind. It's taking that precious sugar that you got from a smoothie one day last week or a baked sweet potato, and it's giving it back to you so you don't get too hypoglycemic and have a pancreas and adrenal crash. Your liver stores most glucose as glycogen in small, sometimes microscopic pockets of special storage facility tissues around the outside of the liver that medical research and science have not yet discovered. In its full scope, medical research and science don't yet know what all liver tissues does. The liver can systematically craft and hold concentration of chemical compounds far more technically advanced than what human scientific methods offer at the moment. Even the respected science of a lab technician playing around with solution and dilution in 1 part per million or 4 parts per billion would be the equivalent of breadcrumbs compared to doctorate degree the liver has in keeping you alive. This storage system is also how the liver stores away concentrations of other nutrients, which we will look at in the next chapter, as well as hormone, biochemical agents, and other chemical compounds. Any helpful component like this that the body may need at a moment's notice, the liver keeps in storage bank close to its exterior, where there are plenty of blood vessels for ready reabsorption when it gets discharge signals from sources such as your brain or thyroid. As needed, the liver brilliantly breaks down glycogen back into glucose using stored water molecule combined with a chemical compound it produces to reconstitute and release glucose into the bloodstream at just the right balance and measure levels. The liver also keeps some readily available glucose that not stored as glycogen so it can be released even faster. Blood sugar is how we function. The human body depends on it. We all know that jittery, light red, irritable feeling we get when it dips, how it feels impossible to concentrate be active, or get anything done. Blood sugar drops would happen all the time if not for this key role of the liver, or if the liver is not in top condition, and almost everyone's liver is not at its best. Then if not for adrenals, which pump out adrenaline or cortisol to fill in for glucose when it's not available, you don't want to be relying on your adrenals for this function thought, because these glands are already overworked in our stress-filled age. Plus, an excess of stress hormone has a caustic effect on your system. True blood sugar support is all about a well-functioning liver that's well stocked with glucose and glycogen. When we are deprived of blood sugar long term, we lose the ability to walk, run, exercise, think, to function. The liver plays a role in athletics like nobody's business. If marathon runners and other athletes knew how hard the liver works and how responsible it is for getting you to your goal, that you can have the most agile muscle in the world and yet hit a wall if your liver runs out of stored nutrients such as sugar. Physical training would rise to a whole new level. The liver releases all the stored glucose it has to get you to the finish line. Know that, and you have a whole new perspective on caring for your body for optimal performance. Your liver's favorite fuel. Glucose isn't solely useful for keeping your blood sugar under control. Your liver itself needs it too. In the ideal liver training, we would learn from birth that our livers live on oxygen, water, glucose, and mineral salt. Glucose, that is, sugar, is the real fuel. Now, isn't sugar a bad word? While protein and fat are celebrated much of the time, we are very often taught to fear sugar instead. Here's the truth. Our first food, breast milk, has a high ratio of sugars because a mother's body knows that her child will thrive on glucose. It's glucose that builds muscle in a child and allows for the development of organs such as the brain, liver, and especially the heart. As we grow up, that need for glucose doesn't go away. It's critical for cooling the brain when we are in confrontation, being challenged, or even in a simple debate at work or school. Without glucose, we can't cope with any pressure or stress. We need it to maintain healthy muscles, a healthy brain, and a healthy heart. And it's imperative for the liver's function and its ability to support your entire body. Not that all sugars are beneficial. Sweeteners such as table sugar and high fructose corn syrup, which aren't attached to nutrients, aren't doing any favors. They are a drain on health. Certain sugars, thought natural sugars from whole foods, like those found in fruit, coconut water, raw honey, sweet potatoes, and the sugars you get from digestion of good carbohydrates like squash and potatoes are really beneficial. That may sound scary or flat out wrong, given the common anti-sugar advice out there. Maybe you have brute fear, that's probably because you have been told at some point that the sugars in fruit feed everything from candida to cancer. You might have heard too that the condition fatty liver can be caused by sugar. So you should therefore avoid fruit. Well, you don't need to live with that burden anymore. The truth is that you need those natural sugars and all the other nutrients you get from fruits to function at your best. You will find plenty more about why it's okay to trust fruits in my book Medical Medium and Life-Changing Foods, and we will examine the real cause of fatty liver in chapter 11 of this book. When you hear that you should stay away from every sugar possible, know that doing so will hurt your liver. When you hear that sugar turns to fat in the body, understand that it's really fat turning to fat. What no one realizes is that nobody eats a diet with just sugar in it. They also eat a lot of fat to go along with it, and that's what's problematic. I don't care how strong the trend is. This is about you and what you need to thrive. It's critical that you know the truth, which is that getting high